Welcome to the first episode of the Game Set Mash podcast, your bourbon and sports podcast. I'm your host, JB, also known as JB Scars or Jake.
I'm Todd, also booze and ballin'.
And I'm Chris, the right pour.
Okay, so we'll start with what are you guys all drinking? Todd, what you got over there?
I'm going Penelope Architect, Bottle Republic Private Barrel.
Heck yeah. Good bottle.
Nice.
What about you, Chris?
I got 2024's release of the Penelope 9-year Private Select. Coming
is a
in
good
at
bottle.
a 101.2 proof.
I got a toasted rye char 2 heavy pick of Penelope here from Fairgrounds Liquor. And there's a reason you'll see later as well why we're all drinking Penelope. But we're going to go into first our football section. Todd, what you got for the NFL past week winners?
Well, the Colts are way more legit than I gave them credit for. I apparently, I think you and I talked about it on the phone or text or something. It's funny that like you leave New York, you leave the Giants or the Jets for just that stadium in general to get good at football. Apparently, like Danny Dimes looks like a whole different player, but they're legit. It's crazy. I thought it was a fluke for the first couple of weeks, but they're good.
I know they have an easier division, and it's also true with Sam Darnold. Man, he came out of New York and look what he's doing in Seattle now and last year in Minnesota.
And not only that, but JT, Jonathan Taylor, looks like he's got his number in for MVP running right now. If it's not a quarterback, he's up there with him.
I hate to say it, and we talked about this on your podcast, but we'll see if they give it to a running back this year. I think he deserves it, though.
Yeah, just like Saquon last year.
We talked about that as well. What's your future weekend matchup that you're looking most forward to?
And it's not just a homer pick, but I want to see the Eagles and Giants again because it's so close to the last game. And the Eagles, that was the first game of the Eagles, just looked like really bad. And I want to see if they make the right adjustments or don't, because then that'll tell me if I still hold them as one of my NFC favorites. If they come in and don't make adjustments and look the same, I'm knocking them down a few tiers in my NFC ranking.
Yeah, the tough part for me is you try to see the Giants bounce back after blowing a huge lead to Denver, out at Denver on Demaryius Thomas's ceremony day, 33 points, which is his 33rd birthday. So pretty crazy.
How weird is that? That was the most exciting game that I think I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, most of the games this weekend sucked. So I'm just gonna come out and say it, but they seem mostly like blowouts.
I do got to say, I know we don't talk like fantasy wise, but Bo Nix I've loved as a quarterback in general. But he did in one quarter better than any quarterback in the entire season. He had more 2 rushing, 2 passing, 2 2-point conversions, all in one quarter for like the best quarterback rating and points in like 15 minutes. It was insane.
Definitely a wild outcome there in the fourth quarter. But speaking of Daniel Dimes or Jonathan Taylor, who are your MVP frontrunners right now?
Well, it was Baker. But I know his team is injury-proof, or injury-ridden right now, especially that injury to Mike Evans. That one hits home just because Mike Evans is one of those receivers, is a good guy, not in the news for negative crap, just a good all-around. You hate to see that, and that could just be the end for him. But I still put Baker up there. He's had a bad game, but he's playing really well. So I put him up there as far as my front runner for quarterback right now because he's been the most consistent.
Baker's a good one, I think. Jared Goff is also really setting himself aside, as well as Jared
Gibbs.
Put him
in there. That offense in general.
Yeah, the whole offense. Even Amon-Ra's having a fantastic year. Let's move into the NCAA. Todd, what do you think of the past weekend? Who is your big winner this weekend?
Big winner keeps being Ohio State, staying in first, looking like they actually have a chance to repeat. Georgia, Ole Miss. I like them too. I think right now I got Georgia. That Georgia Ole Miss game, wasn't that really a 3-point game or whatever?
Yeah, that was a pretty close game.
That was exciting. That one, I think that put Georgia into my top 3 right now for NCAA. So to see them get in a close game and perform and come out, it moved. I had them at kind of the lower half of the top 10, but after that I put them at my upper half of the top 5. Probably put about 3, looking to get to the playoffs and make it to see if they play Ohio State. And don't worry, I got Bama up there too.
I'm going to ask Chris because he's a Georgia fan.
That I am. They were not playing this good or that good this year. I think they had a little bit easier of a schedule, and they kind of showed that with some of the way they were, like some of the games at the way they were playing them. But like last week was just a killer game that really, in my eyes, stepped up for the season and really showed that they could be a contender this year. And I think them and Ohio State going to the championship would be a sick game if they could do it.
Would be. I was worried about them until that game, and that game that showed that they could play like in a tight game, need to win, play smart, win the game. So that's why I have them up there. I think that they have as good a shot as Ohio State to make it.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that.
About future weekend matchups you're looking forward to?
Well, I want to see, speaking of Ole Miss and Oklahoma, 8 versus 13. I want to see if Ole Miss goes back to back, or, if coming off that, do they perform to their ranking and beat Oklahoma, or does Oklahoma beat Ole Miss and knock Ole Miss out of the top 10?
I don't know. It's going to be a tough weekend. But let's go into Heisman favorites. Who's your top 3 Heisman favorites, Todd?
Ty Simpson's number 1 from Bama. One interception all year, 20 touchdowns. Then you got your top 5. Mendoza, Sayin from Ohio State. I like Julian Sayin from Ohio State. Not a fan. I know they have Diego Piva is up there, giving him, but outside of Ty Simpson and Julian Sayin, I think the only one I think I like is Mendoza from Indiana. Outside of them, I think it's between Simpson and Sayin to see who gets the Heisman this year.
Still got a long time ahead to see what's happening there. But
if Ohio State goes, it's going to be Sayin.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to the 12 playoff matchup this year as well for the championship.
I know. Yeah. I'm actually really excited for that. I think it's going to be good.
Which is crazy because we talked about it on your podcast, Todd, where all the teams that had the byes last year lost. So I'm eager to see, because most of these teams don't normally get a bye.
That's
what
true.
happens now that the first 4 seeds do get a bye. So we'll see what happens there when they have to wait a week and a half, 2 weeks, depending on how the schedule works out. They are for NFL teams too, and it's crazy to think about.
And the Phillies.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, shameless plug.
They're shameless.
Yeah. Let's move over to racing before we head back to baseball. What you got, Chris?
So this week was a killer race at Talladega. A big one happened early on, taking out quite a few cars, including the number 9 of Chase Elliott, my driver. After that, it was quite the battle. People were running out of gas. Actually, William Byron lost 24 points within the last 100 yards when he got spun and lost so many dang positions at the start-finish line in an overtime finish, with Chase Briscoe taking the win, locking into the playoff from there. So it was a really damn good race. Now, the standings for NASCAR going into Martinsville, the Xfinity 500, some of the guys are in a must-win situation here. And if Chase Elliott or Ryan Blaney win at Martinsville, dude, it's going to make the chase for 4th by points really, really close. So it'll be an interesting race at the paperclip.
I like closeness in NASCAR. I like the Talladega. There was a lot of down the stretch. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 cars that ran away with it. I like that there's a lot of competition on the last 10, 20 laps of a race. I like that there's a lot of people there, not just, okay, you got one guy with 2 trails or 1 trail. I like when they're all close together.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of this next gen car, Gen 7 at this point, on some of the super speedways, because they're doing a lot of fuel saving. They're not running full throttle and all this other stuff. But like Talladega this week was tons of third lane. The high line was really trying to form. A lot of guys were really pushing it. Yeah, but no, that high line running was really good. So like you're saying, the closeness in NASCAR, as much as I don't like the parity that they're trying to run, this year just kind of stepped it up a little bit and showing the driver's skill more than anything.
You excited for the Xfinity 500 this Sunday, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. The Martinsville race, short track racing is the way to go.
And figure 8.
Oh, yeah. Because Martinsville is nicknamed the paperclip, by the way. So, like, the pit road thing is crazy how it works out. People are pitting in the middle of a turn.
Oh, because it pit wraps around the turn.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why they call it the paperclip. So that alone kind of makes it different, because it's easy to get speeding penalties on and whatnot. So it definitely changes what's going to happen, I think.
NASCAR is fun. Even if you're not like into NASCAR, going to a NASCAR race is an experience. Everybody should experience it at some point.
Oh, 100%.
It is. It's crazy to see it in person as opposed to on TV.
It really does. It looks so slow on TV. And then you're in and they fly by you so fast. You're like, what the heck?
And I like you can listen in, and I like the feature that you can get headsets and you can kind of listen into pit crews and stuff. It's a whole different experience in person than it is on TV.
Yeah, renting those headsets at a track is awesome because you can listen to NASCAR itself. You can listen to the officials of NASCAR. Sorry, you can listen to a broadcast basically, right? Then you can listen to the NASCAR officials, and then you can choose which team you want to listen to. So as something happens, you can flip to that team and listen in on what they're saying and doing. So it's so cool. Yeah, it's awesome.
I mean, it doesn't make any damn sense to me, but it's fun to listen to it.
Yeah.
I think the NFL needs to do that with the mics of the players sometimes. I know there's sometimes bad
just
words
the
and
mics.
stuff.
Just the mics, yeah, but it's got to be 18 and older. Did you see, I know we're not on it, but did you see the clips of Mahomes, the 4th down, when he stood up and he said, oh, this never fucking works. When he was, and that was actually the plan. That is so stupid. It makes a tush push look good.
That was actually a plan. That's wild.
That was a plan, a distraction to Chiefs do some wonky shit. Sorry.
Yeah,
I don't
really do.
hate the Chiefs. I just know Martinsville is going to be good with the chase for the last 2 spots. For stats here real quick, Blaney has done 19 starts at Martinsville with 2 wins. Chase has done 20 starts with 1 win. They're both last in the playoffs, so they're 7th and 8th in the playoffs. So they're consistently good at these tracks. They have top 5s and 10s regularly. So with them going into Martinsville being last in the playoffs, it can really shuffle up who is going to be getting the 4th spot on points. So it's definitely something to look out for going into this weekend.
How many races left?
So we have Martinsville is going to lock in for the championship in Phoenix the weekend after.
Okay, I didn't know if it was Martinsville and then one more and then the championship, or if it was Martinsville and then the championship.
Yeah, Martinsville's the cut line.
The one that matters.
The one that matters.
It's gonna be a good 2 weekends for NASCAR.
Oh, it is. Because I mean, part of me is like, put Talladega as the cut because it's so wild and unpredictable. But I'm like, that's probably not good for, a race at the cut. That would be insane. It's probably not good.
It's wild to think about. Let's head back into baseball. Todd, what you got?
I think Dodgers are repeating. I think their pitching has the advantage. They've been pitching so well. I mean, I do love it that it's the Blue Jays' first time in the World Series since 1993. So it's kind of cool to have a new team in there, but I don't think
the defending champ.
Right. They've got what Vlad is hitting. He's got
on fire.
471 or 470 something.
That's just
batting average right now in the playoffs. But he's just one guy, and I don't think their lineup can compete with the bullpen. If the Dodgers keep pitching how they're pitching, it's theirs. I don't think they'll sweep. I think the Jays will get 1, maybe 2, but I definitely think it's the Dodgers back to back.
Yeah, Springer won in a walk-off bomb yesterday against the Mariners to send them to the World Series for the first time in over 20 years, which is just crazy.
That's crazy.
And we got the World Series coming up, first game on Friday. Who's your guys' players to watch in the World Series?
Good. Simple. It's Ohtani. Like, he's just fun to watch. Just because he does it all. I do hope if they're ahead, they pull him on pitching a little sooner, keep him fresh, because I think I don't want them to overpitch him in the World Series, but if they win, he's going to get MVP. He's just playing so damn good.
His stat line was crazy the day. He hit 3 bombs, 1 pretty much out of the park on top of the out concourse, which is just crazy to think about. 469 yards. And then you had, 469 feet. And then you had him pitch 6 innings, only let up 2 hits and 0 runs earned, which is just a crazy stat line for a dude who's doing both ways. I think the Dodgers got their money worth there.
Yeah, worth every penny.
Did you see they made their money back already on how much they spent on Ohtani in merchandise and sales and everything? And so they've already made $725 million off of Ohtani. And his contract was $700 million. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
that's quite the return on investment.
Baseball and basketball money is stupid.
Oh, yeah. Stupid money.
Baseball is the worst, but it's stupid money. People think, the NFL players get crazy money, but no, baseball money is dumb.
The NFL, the money is guaranteed to an extent, and it's good for people that end up getting hurt all the time. But it's you're not getting these $500 million deals for. I think max contract we have right now is what, 300 3 under,
Well, I know
325.
Mahomes has some sort of 10-year
He
deal,
keeps
but I don't
getting
count, we
he
don't
keeps
count
getting
that.
moved in the future so they can at least pay for some players.
We don't talk about referee contracts like that anymore.
Fact.
Yeah.
He's not just a franchise. He is a referee.
He's
Yeah.
a little bit of everything. Lord.
Well, we got a longer UFC segment here today. Big weekend and big future here. What you got, Chris?
Oh yeah, UFC Fight Night this week. So UFC does fight nights every weekend, every Saturday between their pay-per-views, and this fight night was crazy. Performance of the night actually was Charles Jourdain and Davy Grant. Man, that won the fight of the night because Grant over here did a flying knee to.
Oh, I love a good flying knee.
Love a good one. So he stunned Jourdain, and then he started doing a ground and pound, and Jourdain started to get up, and then he just got him into a guillotine, just like my good old boy Dustin Poirier. He jumped the gilly and submitted him round 1 and 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Like, it was a insane fight. But in my eyes, there was a couple of upsets. Kevin Holland and Mike Mallet. Mike Mallet won by decision to Kevin Holland after 3 rounds. But I was looking at the stats, and by significant strikes and all this other stuff, you would think that Holland actually won. He had a few more significant strikes. He had a few more, submission attempts and all this other stuff. And they still gave it to Mike Mallet on a unanimous decision. So he did something right that impressed the judges a little bit more. Another great
Sometimes that is hard to watch and score. Like when you're watching it, you're like, you're not seeing and scoring exactly like the judges. So I've a lot of the UFC and boxing, I'll look at and be like, really?
That's what I thought too. I was like, because I watched bits and pieces of the fight when I was busy, but I was like, how did he win that one? Like, I definitely thought Holland was going to win it, and then I looked at the stats and I'm like, yeah, no, I feel like he really should have won it, but I guess they saw something different because I'm no professional judge and they are. So they obviously saw something a little bit different that impressed them a little bit more. So I thought that was an upset because Holland has a much better record than Mallet, been around a lot longer. So I was kind of surprised by that. And then the last one I thought was an upset too was Chito Vera, Marlon Vera and Zahabi. Split decision. Went to Zahabi, not Vera for that. Once again, 3 rounds, and then the middleweight bout for the main card went 4 rounds with a knockout. Good fight, nothing spectacular in my eyes. That's why I'm not really talking about that one. I felt like the other ones were a little bit better.
What do we have coming up this weekend, Chris? Anything?
We have UFC 21 coming up. It is going to be a good one. Oddly enough, it's also early. Yeah, it's like a 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. main card.
I do like that because sometimes they run so dang late.
Like 2 a.m. sometimes, 1:30.
I'll try, but man.
That's the reason I go to the bars to watch the pay-per-view fights, because if I sit at home for a 1 a.m. fight, I'm out.
You're out on the couch.
Sleeping, like not happening. I have to go to a bar.
You'll wake up to see the
pay for the pay-per-view.
That's it. That's true.
At the end of the day, it's probably the same amount by the time I drive there, pay for the drinks, pay for the food, and then drive home. It's about the $90.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I guess you're not really saving any money that way, are you?
Pretty much. No, it's just keeping me awake. But for that card, the 2 I'm looking forward to is going to be Verana and Dern. Those 2 women are great in the strawweight. Dern, I believe, won last time, so she has the odds. Both Brazilian. They are fantastic. And then Cyril Gain and Tom Aspinall.
We don't pronounce names right. We're not supposed to.
I'm bad at it. But Aspinall and Gain is a killer fight. I am excited for this, and it is a title fight. So Gain is going after Aspinall to take that belt from him this coming weekend.
I love when there's a title on the line.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing I want to bring up, which I'm actually really excited for, Paramount is now showing all the UFC fights in 2026. What's your take on this?
I am very excited for that. It was a $7 billion deal, I think it was, for the rights. Insane amount of money, but I'm actually excited for it because I think giving the access that way, a lot of people are saying, oh, you're putting it behind a paywall. Well, so is pay-per-view, right? But now you're spending $90 every single 3 to 4 weeks for an event, right? Where it's only for that event. And it's only from the main card, which is like usually 10 p.m. to 1 a.m., right? Now you've got Paramount taking over. Well, if you're going to pay for something, now you're getting all like the regular TV shows you want to watch, all that other shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not getting just the fights,
right?
Just that card.
And I already had Paramount, so I'm like, oh, sweet. It's just another benefit to having Paramount at this point. So like, I'm all for it. And to actually touch back on racing for that, I think racing should do. I think NASCAR should do the same. They did 5 races on Amazon Prime this past year. They should bring it to Amazon Prime year round, just like UFC is about to do Paramount Plus year round, and just like F1 went to Apple for next year.
My only issue comes down to with the NFL doing that. You're used to having it on CBS and Fox, and then they go, okay, we're putting it on Amazon Prime on Thursday night. They're doing some different games and different, like on different apps like Netflix and stuff like that. If you have all the apps, it's great, but if you don't, you're missing out. It sucks, So
Yeah, agreed.
100% agreed, because NASCAR did that. They did Fox at the beginning of the year, Amazon Prime, TNT, NBC. That's 4 different ways to watch it throughout the year, and it just got confusing. Like, just it used to be Fox and NBC. Stick to the 2, fine, or move to one single one. That's it.
Yeah, move to 1 or 2. Say your primetime games are 1, or then the regular schedule are another. That's fine, but the fact that you got to have like 5 different subscriptions for the NFL, and the fights will be all, if they're all on Paramount, that's nice, because it's not like you have to go Paramount and Prime. I like things going to Prime because 90% of the people have Prime anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not like you had to buy a new one, but for me, I have to buy Paramount, or I don't have Apple. I got to get Apple to do that. So I hate that they're on.
I get why I get why the apps are making those deals with the companies, because it's bringing them revenue. But from the consumer side, it's hard to be like, yeah, sure, let me go buy this. I think Paramount's a little different because you can watch football on Sundays when you're away from the TV, on your phone, on the app, and you can also watch a bunch of different shows, as well as now the UFC fights. I'm excited for that.
They don't care about.
I know they don't. And here's why I agree they don't care about us. Because if you think about it, everyone back in the day was like, oh, I'm cutting cable because these streaming services are cheaper. And I personally use Hulu, so I can watch all my races. I can watch most of my NFL, my NCAA games. I can watch whatever I want on Hulu. It's basically like cable, but now it's like, okay, now I need Paramount. Now I need Apple if I want to follow F1. Now I'm going to need Prime to follow some NASCAR, some NFL, stuff like that. So now we're just end up spending more than when it was just regular old cable. So
yeah. Now
I mean,
people
what is the benefit at that point?
give me the
I think
cable
you just
back.
do what Todd did over there. That's the best way to do it.
I stream everything. I
Yeah.
cut cable like 4 or 5 years ago. And it's funny, now it's catching up to what cable was almost 5 years ago to have all those subscriptions and stuff. But
exactly.
But the problem is when you stream, a lot of times though, sometimes
behind.
you're behind, and that's the only bummer. Like if I'm watching an Eagles game or I'm watching a game I want to see, and my phone starts buzzing, I flip that thing over because I know someone's going to ruin something for me, and they do it every damn time. Like I'll get a text from my buddy, boom, and I'm like, okay, so they're on like the 20-yard line, they're on 20. He said boom, so something's happening, either interception or a big touchdown. So I'm watching this game like in anticipation of that now. So I know if it buzzes during a game, I wait 5 minutes and then I look at my phone.
I mean, that happened the other day when I was on the phone with JB. He literally, I forget which game we were watching, and I was like, he said something. I was like, okay, don't say what happened. Just be excited. And now I'm like 30 seconds behind.
That was Monday, and he didn't listen. He kept saying and kept celebrating shit, and we had to keep watching it.
Yeah,
that was
like, can you freaking stop?
It happens on our Thursday hangouts in the Discord too, where people are like, I'm behind, or somehow some people are ahead. And I'm like, okay. But for Todd, I was at his house, and I know his setup now, and we would do our Monday lives, and he's like, I have to watch the stats on my ESPN app on my iPad because I'm gonna be behind.
I watched the play-by-play, so I know the play that happened, but I don't get to see it for like another 2.5 to 3 minutes.
Oh, yours.
And that's the problem with that's part of the problem with YouTube TV. YouTube TV is that way too, where you can only watch specific games in that time zone. Because I was at Will and TK's house, and they use their TK's father-in-law's login for YouTube TV. We couldn't start the 4:00 games until the other games ended. I don't like that. I should be able to watch whatever I want on the 4 screens whenever I want.
So doesn't YouTube TV have the NFL Red Zone or something like that? Or is that's
Sunday Ticket, which is just NFL games not in your area, plus Red Zone. You can have both. Or you can have it in the multi-view if you have YouTube TV, or you can watch, like, say there's only 3 4:00 games. You can have the multi-view and have Red Zone in a box, but there are different ones that you can have. It's getting crazy with how much subscriptions are costing, and that they're changing them constantly to different platforms for things.
Oh, for sure.
Again, let's head over to our buy or sell section. We'll start with you, Todd. What you got?
I'm selling the Jets. I'm selling the Dolphins. They're not even fun to watch, let alone fantasy aspect. Just they are just shit shows, and that other aspect is selling Justin Fields, because at this point, stop giving him chances. So the Jets, the Dolphins, if they're on TV and if it's a primetime game, I don't even want to watch it. They're just so annoying to watch.
Yeah, I think I feel bad for Aaron Glenn too, because I think he's a good coach, but we've talked about in the past that it's you want to get out of New York, and we talked about on your podcast, like, instead of drafting a quarterback every 2 years, how about we draft some O-linemen or receivers? Because that's all you got is Garrett Wilson. Breece Hall is non-existent anymore. Braylon Allen can't really do anything with their O-line, and I think Mike McDaniel's probably on the way out here shortly.
He's got to be. It's funny. So weird coincidence. As soon as I said that, I got a ping on my iPad as soon as I said dropping that in one of my fantasy leagues, it just said so-and-so dropped Justin Fields. Just the weird timing of that comment, and then to get the ping that someone in a league, and that team is actually competitive, dropped Justin Fields. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
Everybody should drop Justin Fields.
They're two hard teams to watch. I mean, I think Tyreek was happy to get out of Miami, so we'll see where he goes next if he comes back at all. Okay, Chris, heading over to you.
All right, I'm going to buy on Blaney or Chase Elliott upsetting the NASCAR Championship round. I think them being in last place with their track record, I think it's going to be interesting to see them come from behind and just upset the points for the
screw up the rankings a little bit.
Yeah, I just got that gut feeling. I'm buying in on it.
I'd love to see that.
Come
in and mess up the rankings. Anyway.
Right, it's all about messing up the rankings. Like, underdog it. Let's go.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I had the Giants as the underdog this week winning. They did not.
Yeah, that was not a good underdog pick.
That was our full
coming
host.
From a former Giants fan. Like, coming from a former Giants fan where I actually cared about the NFL a lot more, that was not a good pick.
So I'm going into this one, and this is why. I'm buying Penelope 13. Reason for it is I'm not a huge Penelope person, and we're going to talk about that in the next segment, but I tried the Penelope 13 with a nice Founders Reserve box, and oh my God, it reassures my enjoyment for Penelope now.
Could I ask this now?
But
would you pay $300 for that bottle?
Probably not, and that's why we're going to the bourbon segment.
That's a good segue right there.
Yeah. My problem with Penelope is the pricing. And I know Todd and I have talked about this, and I think Chris and I have talked about this, where because of our states, we don't have the greatest pricing in the first place. Yeah. Because of our states, we don't have the greatest pricing in the first place, and it's a lot harder to get those. There's a big difference between those regular shelf options for Penelope, and they're really good things from Penelope as well that are a little more expensive. 9, 10, 11, now going to be a 12-year rye.
Yeah, Penelope does get, I can say some of their stuff. I mean, they do. So that's part of the reason I chose this one, because I knew what we were kind of talking about. They do have some pricey stuff. This, to me, is an affordable and a good one. This one comes in, MSRP is like right around $65. It's 110 proof, a lot of flavor. Almost, it's weird. They made the creme brulee out of this one, but just the regular Architect already has almost like that burnt sugar kind of creme brulee palate and nose anyway.
I'm going to throw a hot take in here. I guess it's a hot take. A lot of people have disagreed with me. I've had the creme brulee, and I'm glad I didn't buy the bottle because I had it at my local bar, and it was not good. Like, it does not warrant the hype. I'm not going to lie. I did not like it.
You want to show off your Penelope collections as we, Todd, move your head.
I'm pointing to the creme brulee right there.
Yeah, no, I see the white logo there. I don't know. For me, that creme brulee, it was all there, but then like the finish just dropped off, and I was like, "Damn, that was like, where did it go?"
It was like adding just a hint more of like a vanilla to this, and that was really all it was. It wasn't like the marshmallow toast to the regular toasted. It's definitely a step up in the sweetness right on the front of your tongue.
I can agree with that.
It wasn't as much of a difference for the creme brulee to be as sought after, and then the price point on it too.
That's my biggest gripe with Penelope.
The secondary on the creme brulee is, I don't even think it's that high, but it's just absurd for what it is. Well, I think people are getting like 120 for it or something, 140.
Yeah, I think when I got it just under 80. I got it when it first came out. And then immediately the MSRP even went up on it. But yeah, second, that's the thing with Penelope. The Penelope, like JB said, was we're in control states where like our pricing can stay the same, but we can't get it. If we want it, we got to go pay secondary. And the secondary on Penelope is definitely
Stupid.
Stupid because their regular prices, you have a lot of their stuff that most people want falls around $90. I feel like it should be more like 60, 65. And I think that that's fair. But I love most of their stuff though. So I will pay for it, but I don't do it like happily with a smile sometimes.
I've passed up on several of them that are secondary just because of that. I'm like, I cannot justify the price for that. I think the way they price it for MSRP, for the most part, pretty spot on. I don't really disagree with it. Now, it's like when I asked you, would you pay $300 for a 13? That's what I saw it for in my state literally last week, 2 weekends ago, weekend and a half ago, whatever it is. So I walked in, I'm like, that's $100 over MSRP. I cannot justify that for a 13. I just can't.
I tried it at Wells. I tried the Omega as well. Both were fantastic, but for the crazier over $100 price points, I'm kind of staying away. My problem with Penelope a lot of times is that you get your $30 to $40 bottles that are like the Penelope we did. It's a decent bottle. The proof's too low, not much going on. You got the rosé cask. To me, it's okay. Tried it. Then you have your harder to get Valencias and, and you got your Rios and stuff that when you see them, for me here in Maryland, the prices are whack. I did find a marshmallow toast that's in my Fresh Pop Friday lineup at some point. I'm going to try. The only one I've really liked that I personally have is the one I'm drinking today, which is the Toasted Rye Char Too Heavy pick. But to me, it's just, I don't get the exact insane hype of Penelope until I tried the 13-year, but I'm just not paying that crazy price, nor have I seen one in person.
That Toast Rye is not crazy priced, is it?
No, it was a pick for 70, $80, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And it has a lot of leather, dark notes, very dark fruits, some tobaccos and things like that, which I really liked because it kind of sets it aside from different bourbons and ryes.
Yeah, I mean, like my 9-year here, like I love this one. I got this one in North Carolina so I live close enough to the North Carolina border where they are state price controlled too. But once again, you got to find it. South Carolina, easier to find stuff. You're paying secondary at the store. So I found this one in, no joke, what do they call it? It was like a hide and seek. So this one was like hiding with tequila bottles or something like that on like the bottom shelf. And it was like, okay, you got to like work for it, I guess. But I got it at MSRP and I'm like, all right, MSRP for this $90 last year, 100% worth it. I love this bottle. But seeing it for like $150, I can't justify that. But same with the Valencia or the Rio. I paid MSRP for the Rio. I hate it. I can't believe people are paying $200 for that bottle.
I did not like the Rio.
No, I can't stand it.
Okay, so I was told the third run of the Rio, the Amberana, the heavy over Amberana taste did kind of get better. And I think they upped the proof a little bit. So I do think it helped. I haven't tried that yet, but I've heard that people that agree with me that it was just the Amberana was done wrong. It was too much on the Rio. And I heard it got better, but I haven't tried it yet.
I heard the third batch got better. I have the second batch and I still didn't like it. It wasn't over Amberana. It was just like a weird flavor. Like I can't really describe it. It just didn't taste good. Like it wasn't overly cinnamon. It wasn't overly anything else. It was just like they tried to like force the blend and was like, good enough. We just got to send it out because it's time. And it just,
it got better. It got better the more it sat open. The Valencia I haven't tried yet, and that's one I really want to try.
There's only a couple Amberanas I do like in the first place, though. One's the has the Larkin cigar. I know all three of us have it. For me, it's the RD one. Tends to be more of the picks than it does the regular Shelfer bottle. The regular Shelfer ends up being too sweet. It's a little lower proof. And the last one for me is the Dark Arts Amberana Rye. But I like the rye because it actually cuts out some of that sweetness that
intrigues me.
Kid. Yeah. A rye Amberana sounds much better than a bourbon Amberana.
Yeah, I think that pepper.
Yeah, the people that hate the sweetness part of the Amberana, a lot of times it's too much. This Dark Arts one ends up cutting out 90% of that sweetness.
So besides the Rio, what about the Havana? What's y'all's take on the Havana from Penelope?
It's like syrup.
Yeah.
I liked it better than the Rio.
I agree. I did too. So much so I bought a backup because I wanted to make cocktails out of it. Mm-hmm. But to me, it was more rum than it was a bourbon. Like people are like, "Oh, that's a really good bourbon." I'm like, "No, it's a really good rum that has a bourbon flavor."
I made an old fashioned with it for breakfast, and it was good. Not gonna lie.
I
liked it better. It's definitely, but it's like a one drink. it's a one pour and you got to move on. I can't do like multiple of it. That's the thing. Speaking of the rum, it's funny you said we go to the islands a lot, and when I go to the Caribbean, they don't do bourbon like they do here, and I'll get an old fashioned. They make it with rum, and I've still not put my finger on the rum that they did. I forgot it. I took a picture of it, wrote it down, lost it. But a rum old fashioned with a very high proof rum will trick your mind that you're drinking a bourbon or a rye old fashioned.
That's crazy.
All right, sign me up for that.
I cannot for the life of me. I'm waiting till we go back. We had the baby, so we skipped a little bit, but I cannot remember what it was. It was such a flavorful rum that it, like you said, like the Havana kind of has like that rum. It was almost like the opposite. Like that rum had so much complexity to it. You almost felt like you were drinking a whiskey. It was crazy.
I'm going to Atlantis in a year to date. So I'm going to have to make sure I put that on my list to try while I'm in Nassau.
I'm not done trying to find this. I've bought rums that I thought might be it, but it is. I gotta find the damn thing. It's gonna.
If you find it, let me know because I will buy it while I'm in Bahamas.
Okay.
You have a year to find it.
I gotta talk to Chris about Bahamas because I've been to Atlantis, so I'll give you a good couple places to go.
But
anything else on the Penelope sector?
Penelope.
Yes.
No. For me, for you.
The old fashions. What's y'all's take on those pre-mixed old fashions, especially now that they are releasing that apple cinnamon or whatever it is?
I'm excited for the apple cinnamon.
I want to try. I messaged Will about that if he got it yet.
He didn't get it either. I was just there. The peach one's too sweet for me.
Too sweet.
The black walnut is better. That's one where it's like affordable enough for me to pay for it, but I don't really drink old fashions to begin with unless I'm out.
Fashion's my go-to drink. I love it. When I go out, even at home, I love making an old fashioned.
Yeah, I'll make an old fashioned at home. I'll make some other cocktails, but like I never really did freezer door old fashions, and for like $30 for that bottle, it's a freezer door old fashioned already.
Yeah, that's true. I have the black walnut. I haven't tried it yet though, because I was waiting until I got another peach. I wanted to try them side by side, but now I'm going to wait for the apple cinnamon and try them side by side.
I would wait for the apple cinnamon. The peach was too sweet for me. I wasn't a huge fan of it. The black walnut I thought was really good, and I actually ended up adding some like pecan bitters to it, and like I just poured into a glass and like 3 dashes of a pecan bitter, and it actually like helped. The walnut and the pecan was like really good balance together.
That's interesting.
Try that. I'm going to Delaware this week. I might have to get some.
What's your guys' thought on the new 12-year family estate rye? Any interest in picking that up if you can get it for a good price?
Okay, I'll pick up any Penelope if I can get it for a good price.
Yeah, for a good price. I think older age stated ryes are something to be sought after. I think to me they have killer flavor, but also the age statement to me cuts down on the peppery spice, so it makes it like really flavorful without burning the sides of your tongue either.
Full disclosure, I was a rye guy first. Like when I first got into, I was a wino. I was a wine head. So like wine was my thing. I was going to become a sommelier back before I met my wife. This is a whole like an hour podcast about the life I've lived. I've been through some shit. So, but anyway, long story short, like wine was my thing. My wife hated red wine, got her drinking that. So like I took the flavor and the tasting notes of red wine when I started getting into bourbon, but ryes were my thing to start. I still love a good rye. Like Whistle Pig 10-year was one of my entry-level bottles, and it's just it's nothing great, but it's a good bottle. But I love ryes. I don't know what it is. I love that peppery finish to it. And now, the more I drink, I love bourbons too, but I still love a good rye. That's why I really want to try that toasted rye. I have not tried that yet.
I'll have to send you a shake of that one. Yeah, I think you don't hear many people start with ryes. That's an interesting take, but if all the ryes tasted like that rye you open up for me from Bardstown, well, then we can talk.
Oh, yeah.
I popped the that aqua teal label the other night. I made a dinner. Actually, the video will come out here in a couple of days. I made a nice steak dinner. Was drinking that while I made it. Damn, I should have popped that for you. I got to send you some of that. That is really good.
Okay. That's all. We can do an episode on exchanging some handshakes from maybe some ryes or something, and do a little round table.
I think we all have some stuff that we all need to try separately, because I want to try your toasted rye too. Like I've never had the toasted rye, and I'm not huge on toasted bourbons, but I think a toasted rye would be really good.
Yeah, this is a 4-year at 114 proof. It's char too heavy, and obviously it's a pick, but it's one of the ones with Penelope that I actually was like, wow, okay, maybe we'll see, but
we'll change you.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. But my thing is that if I can get the 13, but I'm not paying for that, nor I think it's just it's a lot of creamy Jim Beam notes. That's pretty much what it was to me. So I don't know. I mean, you probably get that from some old granddad or Booker's or something.
Speed of which sending stuff that I went and stopped at a place specifically to send out some stuff to you guys, and I picked up 2 bottles I'm going to put into and send out to a couple different people, but you guys specifically. It's a lot lower proof, but I told you about it. It's Stolen Wolf. D.H. Stoll, Dick Stoll, who worked at the original Michner's when it was in Schaeferstown here in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
When they closed, he stayed local. Then they reopened in Kentucky, and then he found another guy and he started a distillery, a small one, a few years back. So it's kind of got so much Michner stuff, like history. Now they're low proof; they're like right around 90. But just because of the Michner's history, I picked up a blend, and I think I picked up American Rye. I'm gonna bottle up and send you guys just to try it, just because of the connection of it. The guy who worked at original Michner's in Schaeferstown in the early 1900s, and then to now. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to send you guys.
That is pretty cool. Like the history behind it piques my interest immediately.
Also, I have a trunk full of Michner stuff that I got from my grandma. Apparently, my mom had from her. I got ashtrays, salt shakers. I got old Liberty Bells. I got Elvis decanters. I cannot wait. We're doing a show on that, and I'm gonna show you guys all this stuff. It's really cool.
That's awesome. We can do a whole new Michner's conversation about the lower proof stuff. Even though I love, it's just too expensive.
I'm gonna get it cleaned up, and you got to see some of this stuff. I can't wait to send you guys this.
I'm excited for that.
It's small, it's low proof, but I'm excited to send you guys just because the history with it.
Okay, we hit our 45-minute mark, y'all. Anything else y'all want to say?
Just like Penelope.
Anything you guys want to say to the fans?
This is a little around the horn first episode. I think this was the test episode, but I call it an episode because I think it went well. But
I agree.
We'll still put it out because I like the feedback. Tell us what you want to hear from us.
Well, I like that this was just a little bit of everything we're going to do. Obviously, we'll be more topic specific, narrow down certain events, big events, like obviously when the NASCAR Championship, that's going to be we're going to be focused on that. We might not touch on baseball. We might not touch on that, but I like that we kind of just showed them what we are. And
right. I mean, at the end of the day, when NASCAR ends, we might talk a little bit about silly season. When football ends, we'll talk about, I don't know what they call the off season for them, but we call it silly season. We might talk a little bit about that, like going into it. We might not touch on it at all. So as the time goes on, topics are going to be changing and whatnot, and it'll be interesting.
And then we'll do more bourbon stuff and we'll make some games out of this shit too.
Yeah.
We can even do maybe some NHL a little bit too.
Episode 1 of the books. I liked it. This was fun.
Let's wrap this up. Be sure to go follow the socials. Go follow Todd. Go follow Chris. Follow myself as well. We'll have all the socials linked down below. Be sure to go follow our new pages, and we'll have some clips out of this soon. Thank you all. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time. Cheers.